because I've followed Crumsion ever since, like I said, the first time he won a big tournament. I really like Crumsion. I think he's a great community member. Leca, I've seen, and I think we're going to see more of Leca. You know what I mean? But, you know, I'm my dog in the race right now is Crumsion. What are you feeling right now?
I am feeling 9 damage Storm for 7.
There we go. We've got the rivalry on the desk. We've got the rivalry on the screen. Haven or Daria? What was the better off-meta deck to bring today? Find out now.
Turtles.
Turtles!
Turtles!
I don't know, man. We've got chimeras, which are like lion griffin things. We've got oglers, which are, I don't know what an ogler is. Okay, it's
flying octopuses?
With one eyeball.
Octopi. What is the plural of octopus?
Octopi.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you?
It's octopuses? Come on. Come on, man. English 101. Let's go. Yeah. Octopices? No, but we've got owls, oglers, chimeras. Daria's a witch from another dimension. Versus, you know, heavenly knights, lions, turtles.
What a story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, double Snow White.
Pretty good start here for Crumsion. And somebody in the back just told us that it is not octopi. Is that? I don't believe you.
Radiant's smarter than he seems.
No, I don't believe this. I don't believe this. Somebody prove it in chat.
What a great day.
Yeah, you know what? What a great day, he says. Okay, anyway. This is about as good of a hand as you can start with Haven, right? Like you've got 2 Princess Snow Whites, you've got a Gemstone Carapace that's ready to pop at any moment.
There's so much boost in the hand of Crumsion, but there is no the witch is in another dimension right now, it seems.
That's right. Now there are good tempo plays that still can be made. We've got Chimera. Chimera is always a good tempo play, especially if you can nail it down on the same turn as double Ogler or, you know, Blade Mages, whatever else the case may be. There's always tempo to be had in spell boost decks.
Would you commit the double Ogler?
See, this is the hard part. I think you have to start committing things before this turtle has access to do things. I think you don't even attack one of these Snow Whites. I don't think you can afford to. If you do, then you actually give Leca the availability of that turtle next turn. However, Ancient Lion Spirit does a ton of work with Princess Snow White. We're talking about picking apart an entire board with it. Oh, looks like he is going to go for it. Maybe he's going to finish it off with the Piercing Rune this turn. Yep.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, it is a threat, right?
Ooh. Wow. Interesting. Wants to protect the owl here, make it as big as possible. Okay, going for the full tempo play this turn. Okay.
Crumsion is identified. He's made the calculation, and he says the time is now.
That's right. An Ancient Lion Spirit is going to help here. But it's not going to be enough to clear this entire board, so
that is a beefy board.
Yeah, it's beefy. Plus, he's got a Blade Mage and an Evolution Orb to come back with next turn. He's got a Magic Missile to draw another card. However, if this tempo play does not really push it as far as the end game as he needs to, then he's just going to run out of gas. He doesn't have the Daria like you said.
What's interesting is that it's early enough that this board is threatening, but if it fails, right, he doesn't have a lot of options. It's not late enough that he actually has the points to find something and boost it up.
Right, and I think Leca just doing a great job. Oh,
well, at least the owl will boost, right?
Yes. The owl boost, you've got a double spell in the Golem Assault here. So what that does mean is that you can protect the Daria and whatever board comes out after it with that Guardian Golem. The problem is we've already seen 2 Oglers by the wayside.
Yes. And 2 Blade Mages too, right? Or 1.
Just 1 Blade Mage. I think just the 1 in hand right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you... I feel like at this point you just kind of have to follow the road, you know?
This is I think the decision that Crumsion's making right now is, does he want to play the Guardian Golem, evolve Ogler, go face? Does he want to evolve the Magic Owl to kill the Ancient Lion Spirit and then go face? This is kind of a tough turn. Really depends on how he thinks the next couple of turns are going to go.
I guess the question is, can you afford to wait on the Daria a turn and try to get a bigger Daria play in the future?
I don't know if there is any waiting right now. I mean, Crumsion's completely out of cards, essentially. Like, it doesn't look like it because he has cards in his hand, but if you know the way Daria plays, like, you're pretty much out of cards. You know what I mean?
There's only a few options of boost you have left.
Exactly. So I think he's going to go with the most aggressive line here. Yep. It just put everything in play that he can. Evo for the face, swing for the fences with a Daria on a following turn.
All right, Crumsion here.
Decides to save the evolution orb. I'm very surprised by that. Very surprised by the save.
I think he wants to make sure that the owl gets the evolution.
Okay.
As you mentioned, I mean, that really is the last piece of boost he has. The
That's
Black
true.
Scripture is going to destroy that board.
With the Tribunal, which sets up perfectly for the Heavenly Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
still
rough.
Has 2 evolution orbs as well.
If the mysterious spell pulls the 3 damage off of it,
that's going to be helpful.
it'll be helpful, but he's not going to be able to get out of his hand this turn. I think this is a much better option.
Yeah.
This gives him the ward to protect, and it allows him to play out his hand here. This is where you go. Got to go for it.
What else do you have?
Yeah, right. And with only 1 Ogler left in the deck, he's going to have to draw some number of Blade Mages and Enchanted Swords to actually be able to come back and finish this game. So this is a very important Daria redraw.
He's going to redraw into another Daria. I can feel it.
Another Daria would help.
Right here. Another Daria is getting boosted. Oh!
1 Blade Mage. Uno.
Oh,
and a Magic Missile. So he's got 3 damage sitting in hand. And Leca, again, has the same play he had last turn in Tribunal and Blackened Scripture. He also has Dark John, which I don't really play this turn.
Yeah. Dark John would be very dangerous in my eyes.
Yep. I think you Blackened Scripture first, then you play Tribunal, try to knock out one of the bigger followers here, which does give Crumsion a chance to get some more damage in here. However, he's running out of time.
Yeah. He has the... I believe that's the Blade Mage and the Enchanted Blade.
Unfortunately, Leca does not have 8 play points to be able to use the Dark John alongside that Blackened Scripture. If he was, then he would have been able to clear this entire board fairly easily. Unfortunately, that is not the case.
Yeah, interesting. I do assume, I guess unless you want to play the Heavenly Knight to provide ward.
Wow. Very interesting play to me. Now, this really goes to show that Daria does not have ways to get around big followers anymore. They're not playing the big removal spells.
I mean, certainly things like Dance of Death are gone.
Yeah. However, this is putting a lot up in the air. If Crumsion can get past it in other ways, like these piercing runes, magic missiles, and something else, all of this damage is going to be able to go face. It's exactly what you don't want to happen. I think this is a riskier play than going with the Blackened Scripture and the Tribunal here.
So what does he have? He has 2, 3, 4, 5 damage on the follower.
I think you just go Daria into it. You play the piercing rune. You magic missile face. Okay, he's gonna be doing it a little bit differently. This is similar, except you get rid of the owl instead of the Daria, which is nice. You keep a 5/5 and play instead of a 4/4. To get that damage in, and then you try to build up a Blade Mage, possibly, you know, get multiple golems again.
Okay, he's going to commit the Enchanted Sword here, spread stats.
Wonderful play from Crumsion. Now, this is a weird card to have in the deck. I think the reason he plays this is, of course, for Golem Assaults. But it doesn't spell boost, so it's kind of awkward in the deck. But, you know, if that's you know, just something he wants to play in his deck, it's been working for him so far.
Yeah. Interesting. So, you have the Blackened Scripture Dark John combo.
Yeah. Then that will clear board, just like we talked about last turn. And I think that's the only play he can make.
Look how close Crumsion came.
I mean, it's not over. There's another Blade Mage left in the deck. Piercing Rune is still live. You could technically go Magic Missile into Magic Missile, because I believe we've only seen one so far.
Yeah. He has the turns, too, to technically... I mean, there's no healing in sight for Leca, right? So,
right. And honestly, most of these decks don't. If you're playing the Heavenly Knight version, you're trying to end the game. If you're playing like the really slow Igus deck, you're playing Curates in that spot. I don't think there's a lot of healing outside of Curate that you actually want to be playing in Haven. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. However, does he really want to do that over playing the Golem Assault into triple Golem this turn? That is a big question. Man, this is such a tense turn. Like, Daria not having the greatest of draws, you know, just able to eke out so much damage this game. And, like, okay. Yeah, it looks like he's going with the board play here.
Yes, that is a... once again, there's no play point debt that you can go into here.
Right.
It's just the Earthright effect of Golem Assault with the Enhance.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Crumsion, Leca does have all of the options that he needs to get rid of the board here. Globe into Globe at this stage is not what you want. You're looking for that last Tribunal, if anything else. And then the problem with that is you don't really ever want to play the second Globe out anyway, because then you're just tying up your board space, and that gets kind of clunky. It's rough.
It gets very strange. Well, you have to
do
answer
something.
the board. Yeah.
I mean, he's got a Black Inscription attack here. These are must, or else he will literally just lose on board. Can't do that. Does he decide? Okay, so he's just going to go with the board play here. I like this. I like this a lot. However, if Crumsion comes back with a 2-2 with Ward and a Magic Owl, he's going to feel pretty bad about playing that Dark John. This is the push turn. Can Leca draw something to get out of this?
Oh, gosh. Oh, God.
Oh! That's spicy.
Oh, my God. The dark and the light come together to save the day.
That's right.
How... Did you see the... Wow, this is, you know, Cygame's second season of the Rage of Bahamut anime. This is exactly that. The dark and the light coming together. Exactly that!
This is the first time we've actually seen a Havencraft player employ the enhanced effect of this John.
Yeah.
It's great. 3 damage to all enemy followers. Heal.
Unfortunately, the
3.
ordering means your Dark John will take the 3 damage. But
you're perfectly fine
You're
with
still
that.
alive.
You're still alive. Blade Mage off the top, though? Ooh.
Oh, my God.
Not quite a Blade Mage.
Yeah. The game's not over yet.
Not over.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. The card draw.
But is the curve going to be turned up? It is. Pure-Hearted
gosh.
Singer turns it into a 2-turn game instead of a 1-turn game.
Which is big.
Or a 3-turn game, rather.
Oh my God! What are we watching? Oh my God!
Daria.
I guess this is what happens in the grand finals.
Daria.
I suppose Crumsion takes a win off the Daria deck, and I am feeling a little more queasy for it.
Now remember, guys, if Crumsion wins this, he's got to win another set. So even though he lucked out this time with his Daria deck, can he do it again?
Yeah.
And this match isn't even over yet.
Yeah. That... Oh, my God.
Just top deck after top deck is great.
I wanted the combo of Dark John and John to win.
That's fair.
That is poetic.
It is poetic. And, you know, the last Blade Mage off your deck, not so poetic, but still gets the job done.
Blade Mage, that's a movie right there.
That's it. The Last Blade Mage. Starring Jet Li. All right.
All right, we're on to Forestcraft.
So we've seen this match kind of just be like, you know, iffy right now for Forest, honestly. It hasn't really felt like Forest has been able to maintain, like, great composure against the Dragon decks. I know it can. It's more just, can its endgame actually push through faster than the Dragon endgame can? We haven't seen it yet, I don't believe. I think it's time.
All right. Starting up the ramp. Yeah, we haven't. I want to see. We saw, I mean, the first game of the day, we saw Crumsion with a fantastic King Elephant play.
Oh, yeah.
It was beautiful. Now, show me the Loki.
That was actually the first time I've ever seen King Elephant win on turn 9 specifically, because generally speaking, when you play these Forestcraft decks, like, they don't do damage early in the game. They just
it's very hard to have things stick on the board. And
yeah, like you're just playing a bunch of 1/1s. You know what I mean? Like, Wood of Brambles can help with that, but you have to be playing against very specific decks for that to matter.
Yeah.
And this might be one of those games. Crumsion does have the early board. He does have the Wood of Brambles. So it might just be that he can eke out enough damage in the early game here to speed up his curve. But we'll see how likely that is. One card I have not seen in these decks that I have seen a lot in the ladder decks is Elf Song. Elf Song's one of those cards that can push the mid game into doing a lot of damage, but we have not seen Elf Song in these decks at all.
It looked real good in the previous expansion.
Yeah. I mean, it is really good, right? It gives you 2 fairies in your hand and buffs your entire board.
That's everything you could have dreamed of.
That's right.
Continue the ramp here.
Like, imagine Elf Song this turn, right? Like, we're talking crazy amounts of damage.
Yeah, that's a fairly good time for the wolf to come in hand.
That's right. Already has a Jungle Warden in hand. Has Pure-Hearted Singer for more card draw. Insect Lord, not really at its best use right now, but Airbound Barrage can clear out the follower if he wants to. Honestly, Airbound Barrage on the Wood of Brambles here is just perfect. Looks like he's not even going to waste it, though.
I suppose he wanted to play the Pure Heart.
Yep, get full value out of the Wood of Brambles, then bounce it. Never a bad play.
I do understand, like, you definitely want to draw for your 6-7 playpoint options, but I'm always very scared of situations like that because
that was a really good draw. I mean, there was already the Israfel and the Sawquill, but I think this is another clean answer that you have to a bigger board. I'd honestly use the Breath of the Salamander this turn because this kills bigger boards, like the Israfel Sawquill combo, I feel like. But I guess this does give you an option next turn of being able to play Sybil and Breath of the Salamander to clear out a threat while also getting you to 10 play points faster. So considerations to be made. Both plays pretty good.
He did
here.
actually end up drawing into one of his elephants.
That's good, though. You want one,
yep.
So you can get up to both in your hand by turn 10 here. Good old Insect Lord. I love Insect Lord.
I like the sound he makes. It's kind of raspberry-ish.
Yeah. He's one of the only ways to actually deal with ambush followers these days outside of Tribunal. Like, Tribunal's always been around, but like other classes don't really have ways to deal with that. You know, Shadowcraft has it with Lurching Corpse and Necro Assassin. I just like to see more of that effect. Make ambush, you know, there's a cost to it. You know what I mean? Like, there are cards that can kill it.
Okay. I agree.
Interesting. Okay, just wants to get a threat in play. Wants to prevent a big storm follower from attacking. Very important to
This
note.
is very strange now because the White Wolf won't.
Yeah. Yeah, no way to effectively deal with this Bahamut. If we're talking about the Cassiopeia, that's 7 plus Evo is 12 total.
Wood of Brambles will make that 6. Or, yeah.
Yeah.
If you play Cassio, I guess you should play Wood of...
Yeah, you can play Wood of Brambles. You go +1. That means you have 9 cards in hand. You deal 8 damage, and then you can Evo and deal 13 with the Cassiopeia. That's the cleanest way to deal with this Bahamut.
But then there's a second one.
There is a second one. I doubt the second one will be played immediately. Generally speaking, Dragon players aren't just smash Bahamut and hope you don't have removal for it. There are Crystallia Lilies.
I feel like, I mean, once you identify that, because that's a pretty intricate way to remove a Bahamut, right?
Oh, actually, this way works too.
Barrage?
This way works too because of the evolution. Or you can do it this way. I think this expends the most resources to do this play.
You lose the fairy.
You lose the fairy and you lose the Airbound Barrage.
Airbound. And your Cassiopeia. Well, you regain the Cassiopeia.
You do regain the Cassiopeia. That's absolutely true. But Cassiopeia for 5 against Dragon, even 6. Oh, wow!
Yeah.
Never mind. Rainy is on point right now.
What I was saying was, if you see a player go through that intricate of a way to clear a card,
how are they going to do it again?
Yeah. That was my only thing, but I also can definitely see the line where you're like conservative with it, right?
Yeah. So here we've got 2 damage from us. I think he's just going to have to put followers in play. I think this is just to fill up the turn Wood of Brambles and hope they don't have removal for it turn. Never mind.
Okay.
He's like, all right, well, you got it, you got it.
Yeah. I do think that is, and we know that he doesn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's just over.
Is it, though?
17. Oh, you have, so you're going to draw 2 cards, so that means you go up to 8.
The first one is 8 damage. The second one is 8 damage. That's only 16.
If you have 8 cards in hand, you play that's +7. So then you'll have 8 damage on the first one. So you had 7 cards. You'll bounce it back. It goes back up to 8. It goes back to 7. Yeah.
Yeah, we're at 16 damage at the moment. Now, if you play the Jungle Wardens, you get them down to 13, and then you get to bounce 2 cards back to your hand, which would make the total 9. And then you have... Actually, is that 9? 7 plus 2 to 9, yeah. So it'll be 10 damage plus 8 damage. Maybe that is lethal.
Wait, if you Jungle
Did I
Warden
count
an
this right?
elephant, Jungle Warden will do 8 damage. 17 minus 8 is 9. Then you are 7 cards in hand.
And then
play
you
the
bounce
elephant, so
2,
you're 6.
9.
So you
Oh,
6
6,
plus 2,
right,
8.
8.
8 plus 1 is 9.
Yeah, that's lethal.
Yeah, that's lethal.
That's lethal. And Crumsion is going to tie up this bracket.
Yeah. White Wolf Elephant.
Taking that chance with
Hold
White
on.
Wolf.
Look at these abs.
Okay.
Hold on. Look at
Okay.
these abs. Look at him stretching his arms upwards to expose his abs. Oh my god. What? 2-0! Crumsion is doing the Akamaru Red.
Winning with what, guys? Wait, what did Crumsion just win with? Daria and White Wolf Forestcraft.
And did it with the Jungle Warden Elephant combo off the White Wolf that he played into the Bahamut as a calling his bluff, saying, hey.
Shadowcraft, where are you? I don't see you there.
Interesting, like now that I'm thinking about it. So we were talking about that play where you play the Bahamut and the Bahamut, right?
Yeah.
Was there any other way he could have approached that scenario that would have made him safer?
I think if you just play the Isserfil down, you know what I mean? Like, yes, maybe it gets destroyed, but you still gain the defense back immediately. He did play it the following turn, you know what I mean? But I think that the Bahamut could have done other things. I do like your mindset about it, though. If you had to expend this many resources, it's a perfect play because it did set up Leca to actually just win that game. In most scenarios, Dragoncraft has a card that can deal 3 damage to you. In most scenarios. That scenario, I think Crumsion had to make a giant leap of faith and just hope that it was good enough, and it just was. So I think the game played out exactly like Leca wanted it to play. Unfortunately, just didn't have that one little extra bit of oomph to get over the end game there.
Well, there's a reset, and because Leca was on the winner's side of the bracket, that means Crumsion is going to have to do this again. We're going back in time. Emperor Time is still here.
That's right. Yeah. Emperor Time has been controlling everything,
the entire tournament.
Yeah,
right
the
from
entire
start.
tournament. That's right.
Yeah, obviously he didn't control the fate of his own match, but
do you think that the bans will change on the reset? Do you think maybe Daria will get the ban? Do you think maybe Forestcraft will get the ban? Do you think any of these things will change, or do you think they're just going to play it just as it was?
I think if there's anything that you do, as much as it pains me to say, I think you let the Forestcraft through. Because as we talked about before, the Forestcraft deck is a deck that can most easily ruin its own curve by drawing into the options at a not great time, right?
Actually, we just got an update though. Crumsion's Forestcraft did just get banned.
Y'all don't want to deal with the abs, you know?
No more abs, says Leca. Leca's like, abs are too strong, can't deal, get out.
Yeah, no more of that. Doesn't want King Abs or King Elephant.
That's crazy. Like, even after watching that game, if I'm Leca, I'm not really afraid of the Forestcraft deck, right? Because, like, I essentially had to get unlucky to lose that match. I didn't have 3 damage to win that game. I didn't have a Zeus, didn't have an Ozzy Dahaka, didn't have any of these things to end out the game. But Leca is so afraid of the abs.
Yeah, he chose to sidestep that, which I kind of
letting
think
Dragon
that's okay.
through over Forest, though. I mean, is that okay? Maybe. Maybe. I'm not sure.
I do think it is that. At least to me, it's like when you think about Forestcraft, there are so many things that have to go right for it.
Right. And Dragon,
I would prefer to have that happen than to have Daria happen.
Well, sure. When Daria happens, again, you just lose.
Yeah.
But Dragoncraft, I feel like, is more consistent than Forestcraft, and especially when you're playing in the finals for your life's blood here. That letting Dragon through instead of Forest, I think, is just maybe an exaggeration of a fear towards the abs. Okay.
I think you are correct. I think you have identified the scenario correctly. But CPV Leca might be a little bit on tilt. I mean, you were playing fantastically for the whole tournament. You even beat this guy before.
Yeah.
You beat him.
And then you lose 2-0 against Daria and Forestcraft. You're just like, ugh. You know what? No more. None of this. You play me with Dragoncraft because I'm more comfortable playing against Dragoncraft.
Yeah. Do not want. Do not want.
As far as Crumsion has been drawing his Darias, maybe not in his opening hand, but he's been drawing them pretty rapidly even after the even after the opening hand. I think he's been playing so well with it too, making all the right choices.
Yes, absolutely. He's I mean, he opened himself up to the possibilities that he could close it out on top decks on options that he had in his deck, and that was really the name of the game for both games.
Absolutely.
Match, right? He was constantly playing to keep his options open, and he took the opportunity when the game presented it to him.
And what happened? He played himself into the fact that he had outs and then drew a Blade Mage and just finished it off as in that last game.
Yeah. And we're talking about a game where both players are drawing insane answers.
Yes, yes. Both of these players have been drawing fairly well, basically every time we've seen them play against each other. So, yeah. This is all coming down to play skill, and honestly, just especially that Havencraft game, man. Where just like top deck after top deck. Oh goodness. Whew.
Here comes the Isla Evolve. That's gonna go toe to toe with the Owl.
What do you think gives you... Okay, so we're talking about Ramp Dragon, right? Ayala gives you Ramp. Magic Owl gives you Pseudo Ramp. But it gives you 2 across the board for every card in your hand. Which one do you think is better at its job?
I think that... So I have yet to see Owl. I want to see Owl with Daria more. I think in the traditional Dimension Shift lists, I think Owl was way more value. If you were to attempt to compare them side by side, right? They're a little bit different. But I think by far, Owl on Dimension Shift decks just gives so much.
It does. I mean, even in a Daria deck like this, it gives so much. It's 2 ramp across the board to a ton of followers and spells in your deck. I think it's crazy. I think Magic Owl might be one of the best cards they could have ever added to Runecraft.
All right, we've got a double... Hey, you know when we were in Japan, did you ever go to those owl cafes?
I wanted to go to one. I wanted to go to a cat cafe. I wanted to go to an owl cafe. I wanted to go to all these places, but I couldn't.
We're getting the experience now. Look at all the owls. I dropped my pen.
So many owls, and this is a Daria turn, just like we're talking about. Into Daria, man.
With a whole bunch of
Crumsion,
the Blade Mage
come
and
on,
the Enchanted
dude.
Blade.
Come on. Give Leca a chance, okay?
Well, if you're using Breath of the Salamander, I guess you could do that alongside Blazing Breath.
My goodness. Like, this is crazy, though, right? So Leca's on 9 play points already. If Crumsion didn't go off on turn 5 and it was turn 6, then Bahamut becomes an option. Then all of these things become an option. Like, Leca has been ramping like crazy. Crumsion has been playing Daria, like, tempo turns like crazy. Again, both players drawing very well.
Yeah.
But Daria, man, with the redraw of the Daria.
Okay, so he's going to use the Evolve and the Pure-Hearted, I suppose. It's interesting. He values the Blazing Breath over his Evolution Orbs.
It is. Maybe it's just because he wants to draw more cards faster. I mean, if he didn't play that, you know, maybe that Bahamut doesn't come, you know, until the next card. And he doesn't have the turn 10 play that he wants.
Oh, what?
Oh, no! Why did you inside? No!
There's the Mysterious Knowledge. Just use the Mysterious Knowledge. Why do you gotta draw a card?
Why you gotta draw a card? Oh, my.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my.
That might be... So he's already played... So this is all his Darias, right?
This is it now. He's got to win off of the back of this one.
Something real beefy here. You could still draw into the Blade
That
Mage.
was a real, like, getting the Enchanted Sword, that's lethal.
Oh, that is lethal. Oh, my Lord!
He drew it! All right, guys. Daria. has been looking unfreaking stoppable in the hands of Crumsion today.
This Dragoncraft player has been going at an incline of 89 degrees at least. He is ramping faster than Speedy Gonzalez on energy drinks.
Right. And just can't deal. Ban Forestcraft? Why are you not banning Daria? What are you doing?
It was literally the turn before. Bahamut. I mean, I guess if you had a Sahak Israfil, I think you probably could have wiped the board.
I mean, he did a pretty good job of wiping the board every
Yeah.
single time a Daria play happened. It's
Yeah.
just the fact that there was redraws into Daria and then a redraw into an Enchanted Sword
Yeah.
off of a Blade Mage. Like,
Hey, at least now you get to fight the weaker deck, right?
yeah, right. Now you've put yourself into a mirror matchup, right? Like, you have to win the mirror, and you have to win against Dragon
Wow.
again if you win this one. It's just
Keeps the canyon. Doesn't draw for ramp.
that is interesting. And he's on the draw while keeping the Canyon. Again, very interesting. Maybe if you were on the play, I can see it. Maybe Crumsion just values the card so highly in the matchup that he, well, guess it doesn't matter. You know, Crumsion, sometimes you just draw like a king all day, and it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah. If he Oracle pops up here, I would be real mad.
You would be mad.
I would be real mad.
I'd be mad for Leca, yeah. Leca been trying so hard. It doesn't. Leca has no plays here. Crumsion has no plays here.
Get pure-hearted.
Yeah, he's got pure hearted, but I mean, like, no ramp. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All things considered, double Draconic Fervor and a Sybil. It's a good amount of healing.
They both have the same types of ramp going up. The only difference being that Iella is going to be able to come out on the same turn, possibly as another ramp spell, or he can do it like this to basically just get ahead a little bit. Outside of that, they both have a lot of ramp options, so I don't think ramp's going to win this matchup. We'll see if this canyon really comes into play, and I think that's why Crumsion did what he did. He really wants to get that canyon alive as soon as
What's
possible.
interesting is, if that's the case, if that's the lens of which we're looking at this, I think Crumsion has put himself on a big back foot here. You're committing the Evolution Orb for damage that you're probably not going to get.
I
He's
got
gonna
it.
Heal over it.
Got the damage in, though. And he's got a Sybil that is now unevolved. Like, which one do you kill? Probably still the Sybil. So maybe that Evolve Orb actually netted a good chunk of damage.
Certainly, right. Certainly if this is the way that the match is going to go. But I definitely see a world where we come out of this and both players have no Evolution Orbs and Leca has healed up. Possibly.
Wow. Keeping the Sybil in play. Okay. Just wants to get that damage off the field.
Blazing Breath. Yep. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh.
So good. So
Oh my
good.
god. He held the card. He foresaw this.
He did.
He looked into the fire and saw the
He
turns
knows.
playing out. He said, I need this canyon.
He
dragon."
knows. And he evolved the Iella. It stayed in play. He got to evolve the Sybil here. He's put himself into such an advantageous early game with 2 Zeuses and a Scyther in hand to just keep being aggressive for the rest of the game. I think, as far as tempo's concerned, Crumsion just going to run away with this.
We'll see. We'll see if they can stabilize. There's a lot of options in both players' hands.
Like, he has to deal with every threat every single turn. Like, if he gets one big knock, again, by one of these dragons or another follower, he's just going to lose on tempo to Zeus's here. And this is like, we've talked about the canyon. It requires so many resources just to deal with what you don't have to spend any resources on.
Yeah. Definitely makes you consider drawing out the Bahamut.
And I think Crumsion's just in a great place
you could
now.
Zeus. Well, I guess you would kind of want to get rid of the Sybil.
You have to get rid of the Sybil. You can't do that with the Sawquill this turn,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but that would use up your last Evolution Orb. I don't think you need to do that. That's another good draw.
Oh my gosh. If he had one more play point.
Yeah. I think it feels bad, but I think you just Scyther this away. I mean,
Interesting.
I don't know. If he wants to continue to be aggressive, I can't fault him for playing Sawquill and going Zeus face, evolving Sawquill over the Sybil or even running the Zeus into it. But
I do think when you Scyther, you can think about it as eliminating 5 damage and dealing at least 3, right?
okay, looks like he's going to go the defensive route and still just basically put as much pressure on the board as possible. Try to force out this Bahamut, and honestly, it's going to. I think you have to play Bahamut here if you're Leca. Because again, we've already talked about this. If you don't, you're just expending resources on this canyon that's just giving you resources for free. You just got to get rid of it.
This is basically the last turn for you to do it anyways.
Right. It feels bad because you play the Bahamut, you don't have a reaction to an opposing Bahamut. Like, I mean, Crumsion's kind of done everything he needed to. It looked like he was wasting his evolution orbs, but he's the one with the last one left.
Yeah. The evolved Ahela. I mean, I suppose it's just the fact that there was no tempo on board, there was no follower on board, there was nothing to really answer, and Crumsion reaching that big body plus the Sybil that followed afterwards is just too many stats for Leca to respond to and ramp.
Yeah, just looking at cards in hand, I think Crumsion's just going to walk away with this. I mean, now this turns a Bahamut into a really scary play, because then it leaves the board open after you've just taken, what, 9, possibly 11 here? Putting you into a lethal, range of Azidahaka, or, you know, another Sahaquil Zeus with like a, you know, Scyther play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no question
I
you
think you have to
Bahamut here.
Bahamut.
I think he had to Bahamut last turn and didn't. He must do it this turn.
Trying to draw.
And now it's just, I'm going to play Ouroboros 2 turns in a row and you're dead. Now that is a scary play. Probably not going to go that route. He might just play a Bahamut here. He could just honestly play a Zeus and go face here.
I think that's probably the best choice. The Zeus face.
Zeus face basically just means that you have to have a
You have to
Scyther.
have the power to push through the Zeus and do 20.
Yeah, there's no possible way to do it. Yeah, I think this is the correct play. Crumsion's going to go face here. And Leca, is he going to get 2-0 swept twice in a row
I cannot.
in the finals?
Yeah, you have to heal up past the Ouroboros.
Ouroboros, he's got Scyther in hand.
Is there? So you have the Draconic Fervor, and then you need to pull a Sybil, I guess? Or if you just play the Israfil and trade your Bahamut? Does that save you? No, you died to he doesn't have a Zeus.
You have to heal here. 100%. Okay, he's going to do that. Perfect.
Okay.
So this has taken him out of lethal range as far as he knows.
Ooh, I think you need to Bahamut, I guess?
Yeah, you have to Bahamut here. Now Crumsion's kind of put himself in a weird spot, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, the Zeus play was really good, but not having a follow-up to kill after the heal means now he's in the, okay, please don't have the Queen of the Dread Sea. Please don't have, like, you know, some nastiness
This is
for
probably
me.
the lowest numbers I've ever seen a Dragon Mirror match happen. It usually, the damage is so insane that you can't get to these denominations.
Yeah, that's true. 7-4 in a Dragon Mirror, that's kind of odd.
Okay, he's going to pull out Israfil.
Yeah, this plus a Breath of the Salamander will finish off the Bahamut here. But again, Leca's not feeling good about this. He's at 4.
Oh, man.
But this will prompt an Ouroboros, I believe. However, if you play Ouroboros, you have to use it plus the Blazing Breath to kill the Sahaquil here.
Yeah.
I still think it's a better play.
I think if you go first in the Ouroboros race,
you generally win if you're the one being proactive with Ouroboros. The problem is it's not just about
Ouroboros with Grimner.
That's a stall turn. Ouroboros answered,
eliminate the Grimner.
Right.
Okay.
Ooh. So this must mean Scyther. No, he's just going to take a chance again.
Is there... So there's no Storm in hand right now. 4, 5, 9.
Okay.
Azidaka?
I think Crumsion has correctly identified that Leca does not have some crazy Storm, and I think Leca knows the same from Crumsion. So right now, I think they're just thinking about, okay, how do I get the most value? How do I heal up the most I possibly can in a short amount of time before they draw something to just end the game?
I think this is a turn you Ouroboros, right?
I think if you're ahead on the play with Ouroboros, what's the safest possible play? The safest possible play is Grimnir, I think.
Oh, okay. I can see Israfil as well.
Israfil's also safe because you get to keep your Sahaquil in play after attacking, and you get to gain the 4. Yeah. Okay, this looked like the game was going to be over. Now this is turning into a grindy...
So we have a Dreadsea in hand for Crumsion. So what are the various ways?
5 damage is the most he can deal this turn. With the oh, you can't even do that with Queen of the Dread Sea. Never mind.
No, you can't.
You can't.
I think you need to answer the Israfil. So that means the Scyther has to go towards that.
Scyther goes towards that, and then you play the Draconic Fervor? Meh.
You could Scyther, Draconic Fervor, and then Blazing Breath.
I mean, you have to get rid of it.
Singer, I suppose.
However, if this all happens and Crumsion does not have a threat to end this turn with, then Leca will be able to install the first Ouroboros.
Wow. This is a tough spot.
This is a tough spot. This is 2 dragon players that know what they're doing. This is super fun to watch.
Oh, a second Scyther is huge, I feel like.
Every piece of storm / big removal is huge right here. You have to be able to answer threats. And now we're just going back to 2 seasons ago Dragon. Who can play Ouroboros more? And
oh, do you play the Sybil?
Oh, man.
And the Grimner?
No. I think you have to start closing the door. You can't let it keep going, especially after your opponent just played a Draconic Fervor.
Okay.
They're getting deeper into their deck.
Canyon of the Dragon.
And then this is just Ouroboros plus Blazing Breath, and then Ouroboros plus Blazing Breath, and it's just a battle of who can outlast. This used to be impossible when Ouroboros healed you before it got adjusted, but now that it doesn't heal, it's do or die.
So you can Dreadsea the Ouroboros and the Zeus, and that gives you a good bit of damage. Or if you come into the Azadaka.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, no Queen of the Dread Sea drawn for Leca yet. That's a huge step. Oh my goodness. Yep, this is just Ouroboros Breath of the Salamander. I think it's literally just going to be who can do this more. Unfortunately, Leca does not have another burn option in his hand to do the same thing.
Oh boy. So that means that you have to start thinking about things like Zeus?
Right. You have to start thinking, how do I win this game if I can't win the Ouroboros War now? You could stall for a turn. Again, we've talked about this. Grimnir will basically just reset the turn. This is a stall tactic that Dragon players have been employing since the Ouroboros War has come to be.
Yeah. Basically saying draw another card, at least as far as that's concerned. But is this the turn to do something like Israfil?
I think this is a perfect turn to install something like Israfil, actually. I still probably would play Ouroboros just because you just put that pressure on. Any turn. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't necessarily agree with this because this means the burn spell's gone. Yeah. So Leca can come back on top of the Ouroboros War with that. But he's not drawing his burn spells here.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I think he's just going to have to start going for it. I think he's just going to have to be like, all right, Zeus,
right?
Top deck something. Like, where are all the Ozzy Dahakas in these Dragoncraft decks? Like, where is this card?
They're only playing like
one, maybe two of them,
right?
yeah. With Queen of the Dread Sea, like, I don't know why you'd play any less than 2 at least, but who am I to say?
This is a really tough spot, especially with Crumsion having 2 Scythers in hand.
Yep, here it is. And as we know, the Scythers are going to be able to do a lot of bit of work here. But
yeah, but you can't Scyther in Ouroboros.
Ooh.
Okay, so if you play that with Israfil, that's 2 and 2. No, you're still just a bit away.
You're just a bit away, but I think that's a better install this turn because then Ouroboros is the kill card on the following turn, and it forces your opponent to stop and play something else.
And have to heal.
There's so many options here, but yeah, I think he's going to go with this with the Israfil, and then he's going to play one of the Scythers and go face.
Okay, so the Israfil is able to take down the Zeus without taking damage because it had less than 2 health.
And then I don't even know if you can do anything about this board. If you play the Draconic Fervor, you're not left with options to actually deal with the board, and you already know the Ouroboros is in hand for the extra 3 damage.
The Sybil can't swing, so you have to hope to get a Scyther.
That's game.
Yeah.
The Grimnir would have helped if there was an option to maybe take out the Sahagquill, but there's not.
So if you Blazing Breath the Scyther, then you play the Grimnir, then the Sahagquill goes over.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, he's
Wait.
just going to concede.
Wow,
Leca, don't
what?
concede, no!
I'm pretty sure. Wait, hold on. If you had Blazing Breath of Scyther, and then played
I
the
think
Grimner,
you had one more turn, maybe.
and then